Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. What is the big event, obviously, coming in 3 days? Well, that is the FOMC press conference. The FOMC meeting starts tomorrow and concludes on Wednesday, and Powell will get up in front of millions and talk about the rate decision and everything else that's coming up, right? So it's going to be a big week. And I already said in my Sunday video, usually leading up to it and afterwards, you have red. We'll see if that's the case, because at this point, the 25 basis point cut is already priced in. So today, we could see a green day, but then I'm expecting tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday, quite possibly red because of a lot of profit taking, and Wall Street wants to digest what Powell says. And then we get back to green. That pattern has been pretty consistent with all these FOMC meetings. But we'll see. Things could be different. But that is the one thing everyone's going to be looking at. And even though the rate cut is already priced in, 96.4% chance we're going to get a 25 basis point cut. There's no chance we're not going to get one, and 3.6% chance we're going to get 50 basis point. Everyone just wants to hear what he has to say about October and December. As of right now, they are locks. October is at a 78.6% chance for another rate cut, and December's at 74%. So these are locks. We're going to get 2 more rate cuts after Wednesdays. But again, I don't know. People want to hear what Powell has to say. Maybe he becomes super hawkish for some reason, even though it doesn't make sense because the employment numbers, the job numbers are bad. There's really no reason other than if inflation starts skyrocketing, right? So anyways, everyone is going to be looking at what he has to say. And that may bring some volatility this week. I think it will, for sure. Yeah. All right. Moving on. What else is happening? Well, why did Bitcoin fall down? Right? Some may be wondering just a little bit. Why don't we continue to go up? Because the U.S. market is in the green, right? Well, I think this FOMC meeting has a lot to do with it. A lot of people are just worried and preparing for what's coming. But also, that pesky whale that sold 36,000 Bitcoin is at it again. Not sure what's going on with this whale. He's already a Bitcoin billionaire. Obviously, he sold 36,000 Bitcoin for $4 billion back in August. And now, he's doing it again. He moved, people are tracking his wallets, and people saw that he moved another about 1,200 Bitcoin, and that's sparking some fear. People are speculating. Why would such an OG in the space, someone that made billions off Bitcoin, be selling now? I think that's scaring some people, right? Because usually you only encounter Bitcoiners that hold forever. They don't really sell and take profits. And even if they did, why now? Right? Why months before the end of the cycle? I don't know. But people did track his activities and saw that the last sell, the $4 billion, you know what he did with that? He bought ETH with it. So people don't know, again, if that is what he's doing. He's selling off because he wants to buy ETH, or maybe he wants to buy SOL this time, or he's taking profits, or whatever. People don't really know at this point, right? And it's very suspicious. Like Bitcoin OGs selling off to buy ETH. What made him to do that now? Out of all the times, Maybe he fell for FOMO too because of everything he's hearing about ETH accumulation these days. I don't know. It's a weird situation all around. But anyways, this whale is selling and probably causing some concerns among a few Bitcoiners. But you know what? It does not deter Saylor and others. Saylor decided to buy another 525 Bitcoin. So that's like half of basically what that whale moved. 60 million. And now he holds 638,985 Bitcoin. 47.23 billion. Imagine. No, don't imagine it. But, you know, if he owns more than 3% of the supply, Saylor does now. Over 3. And this is just what Michael's strategy holds. It does not include his personal pile, which back in the day, he said he had over 20,000. And he may be accumulating. So it may be a lot higher than that. It could be 25,000 or 26 or 30,000 by now. So that's crazy. That's crazy. And hopefully Saylor sticks to his word and basically hodls forever, because if strategy or himself ever decides to sell, that would be a problem. Over 3% of the supply deciding to sell, that would be a major problem. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, if ever. If ever. All right. Outside of this, what else? Bitcoin reserves still very, very, very low. In fact, let me remove my camera. 7-year low point. So we're going all the way back to 2 cycles ago. The 2017, 2018 cycle? No. Yeah, that 2018 is when we start a new cycle. The 2016, 2017 cycle. All right. I don't have the chart with me that shows the OTC market, but it's pretty much showing the same thing. Exchange reserves have dropped tremendously. OTC market reserves have dropped tremendously. So the supply shock is in effect, obviously. Okay. And it's only going to get worse. With, even little dumpings here or there, volatility, whatever. Bitcoin is so solid these days. It's not like any previous cycle. If you've been in this space for, a few years, you'll know. Even the 2021 cycle was crazy. How volatile it was. Especially with SBF and FTX messing with things. We fell 50% mid-cycle. 50%. And 2017 cycle wasn't easy either. We had consistent 30-35% dumps like every single month. This is the tamest and calmest cycle that we've ever had, right? And even though some people will point out, well, if that's the case, why do we dump sometimes? Why do we go down? Yeah, that's always going to be the case because there are still sellers out there. But overall, we are definitely trending higher and higher and higher because there's just not that much to go around anymore. The supply has diminished to a point where there's just not that much volatility, not like before. And that's why we are in 6 figures. 6 figures was a magical point that we only dreamt about in the past. And now we're here and everyone just has accepted it. Right? Like, okay, now what? But it wasn't like that even a few years ago. We only dreamt of being at 100,000 Bitcoin. And now we just like kind of all got used to it. And that's just unfortunate, but you know what? When in doubt, zoom out and then just pay attention to what's going on. All the buying that's happening with the ETFs, with the companies, and then fundamentals improving, like exchange reserves, OTC reserves going down. You do the math.